All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan. Yesterday in my video, I said that this is the first time when I have seen the Muslim diaspora community living in the West have overwhelmingly, unconditionally condemned this terrorist attack. I saw that as a positive development. I saw that as possibly due to the fact that Westerners are now becoming less and less tolerant of Islamist terrorist shenanigans. And maybe because the tide is turning, and that's why these people are slightly getting nervous, and they're thinking maybe we need to get our act together, and maybe we need to start condemning these terrorist attacks, like the one witnessed at Bondi Beach a couple of days ago. Although that could be partially true, but that's not the entire picture. Half the Muslims say that, yes, it's our guy, go get him. And the other half says that, oh, please don't be a Muslim, don't be a Muslim. Oh, damn it, it is a Muslim. So, of course, Muslims are not a monolith. There's a wide array of Muslims. Muslims come in all flavors. But what's worrying is that there is a flavor of terror which is quite prominent in the Muslim community. There are 2 billion Muslims, so even if 1% of them are sympathetic towards terror, that number is what, 20 million? Even if it's 1%, that's almost the population of Australia. So what did I discover yesterday? I had some time to think about it. So I noticed that the Muslim diaspora living in the West is condemning this Bondi terrorist attack, but the Muslims living in Muslim countries who are eager to move to Western countries and whom our politicians are very eager to embrace them with open arms and roll out a red carpet, what are they thinking? Okay, so let me share just one BBC Urdu's Facebook post, okay? This is contiguous. I'm not handpicking them. This is the original post where BBC Urdu is reporting that this guy is identified as 24-year-old Bondi Beach terrorist, Naveed Akram, blah, blah, blah. So I have posted these screenshots on my Twitter page. If anyone wants to go have a look, you can have a look. You can verify that. I've also pasted the link in my Twitter post. I'll also include the link to my Twitter post here. But so let's have a look through what exactly are they saying, okay? I'm going to read them one by one. So Umar Amin Khan says, what a fishing trip. He's referring to the terrorist mother's comment that, oh, I thought they were away on a fishing trip. So he's saying, what a fishing trip, smiling, laughing emoji. Tanweer Abbas is saying, these male fighters did what the armies of 56 Islamic countries could not do so, meaning kill the Jews. Kamran Sohail is saying, he took his own son with him. His passion and determination are commendable. So they're celebrating the fact that he didn't only sacrifice his own life, but also the life of his son. Kamran Khan, male mujahid, mujahid mean warrior of Allah, jihadi person. Naveed Akram's brave attack on Zionist soldiers in Australia. These guys were ordinary people. Those who kill innocent children in Gaza, nowhere in the world is safe for them. It is said that a large number of Israeli soldiers who had directly participated in the genocide in Gaza were on Sydney's beach, having gone there for rest and peace. So, of course, they want to console themselves as well, and they want to justify in their heads as well. So they're concocting these stories that, hey, don't feel bad for these Jews who've been targeted by these terrorists. These guys took part in the so-called genocide of Gaza. So let's celebrate that. Muhammad Yunus is saying the one who beats is also a Muslim, and the one who plays is also a Muslim. I don't know what he means by that. This is a difference between the training of Satan and man. Let me read that in Urdu, so it might make more sense to me. Yeah, so he's saying basically the guy who was attacking was also Muslim, and the guy who was rescuing was also a Muslim. That's the difference between a devil and a human. I think the comment from Muhammad Yunus is obviously a better one, where he's saying that the guy who rescued, he is the good one, while the other one, the one who was attacking the Jews, was the reincarnation of the devil. Okay, the next one. Beat Khan is saying, the Sunnah of the Prophet is the beautiful example. It is the economic, defensive, medical, social, cultural, blah, blah, blah. Like when the Muslims are weak for the first 13 years in Mecca, for 2 years after the migration to Medina, for a total of 15 years, they did not take any such actions. They only strengthened themselves in every way. Then how can we rely on the powers of patience? This is against the Sunnah and will harm the Muslim Ummah. So he's not saying that it's wrong to spread terror or kill the Jews. He's saying that strategically, this is not a good option, because when Muhammad was weak in foreign lands, because in the first 13 years of him preaching Islam, only a handful of people converted to Islam, and then he was forced to migrate to Medina. And even there, he was a bit reluctant. He didn't immediately start warfare. He only started raiding caravans, actually robbing caravans, once he started gaining some power and momentum. So this Muslim is saying we shouldn't attack the Jews or the infidels now because we are weak. We first have to gain more power. Only then we should attack them. So now the other guy, Shan Ali Janejo, is saying Naveed Akram is a true Muslim. And look how many likes he's getting. The other one, he's saying that was the best fishing trip. Ha, ha, ha. So again, he's also celebrating. This guy, Sultan, is saying that the deceased is from India while his mother was born there and his mother is from Australia. She's Italian. A few days ago, there was a rally in Australia in favor of Palestine. This is the worst false flag operation in history by the Mossad. As I said, Muslims are a mixed bag of lollies. So some refuse to believe that it's the Muslims who are doing it. And the other half is saying, well done, our dear Muslim brother. Now, let me show you the next one. Nature and Gardening is saying, whoever kills one innocent person, that is injustice. If you want to fight, fight those who are killing Palestinians. That's a good one. Again, he's probably a Muslim lefty or a Muslim woke or a Muslim tree hugger. Nature and Gardening, he's condemning it. So that's good. So how many condemning messages have we seen so far versus how many celebratory comments we've seen so far? M. Razak Afridi is saying, I salute this great father and son. Congratulations on your martyrdom. 4 likes. Humanity has no religion. Salute to real hero Ahmed. So Ahmed is the Muslim who stopped them. So that's a good one too. There's actually a few more, but I think that you should get the message. The condemnation that we see from the Muslim diaspora living in the West towards Islamist terrorist attacks is usually wrapped in, oh, yes, we condemn that, but we also have to address Israel's atrocities, or we also have to address the US's foreign policy towards Muslim countries. What about US launching war against Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya and whatnot, which is obviously not a condemnation at all, which is conditional. They're actually advancing their cause. Have a look at another one. I think their tone only changed, and I think that applies on the Muslim diaspora. The only reason they're condemning is because they have found out that this guy, Ahmed, is also a Muslim. So if they created a condition on their condemnation of these 2 terrorists, then they would have had to condemn this guy as well. So here they had something to latch onto. But look at this one. This is more disturbing. A 10-year-old girl, 2 rabbis, and 1 Holocaust survivor are among those who are killed in the Bondi Beach terrorist attack. And have a look at this. How many people are giving a laughing emoji? 56 people are giving a laughing emoji and only 20 are giving sad. So you can see the people who are actually happy and the people who are actually sad. This is just BBC Urdu. You know, I don't have the stomach to go through every single political post. Actually, I shared one yesterday. Pakistan's largest English-speaking newspaper is called Dawn News. And I saw some people celebrating there too. So even some English-speaking Pakistanis, even they were celebrating, albeit there was an equal portion of those who were condemning it. So it was more like 50-50. So why is the Muslim diaspora community living in Western countries overwhelmingly condemning it? Now, there are 2 reasons for it. Number one, they can see that the tide is turning and they have to start condemning these people. And number 2, they have found a Muslim hero to latch onto, to say, hey, look, you know, we're not all bad. As I said yesterday, the bar is really low. I mean, no other community has to give evidence of its loyalty by producing life-saving Good Samaritan heroes, people who have to risk their lives. For example, no one is going to question the loyalty of a Chinese Australian unless he jumps on the grenade, so to speak. No one's going to question it because we don't see ordinary Chinese Australians committing acts of terrorism on a regular basis. So look at this woman, Busha Sheikh. What happened that only until 2 years ago, these people were openly, unashamedly celebrating terrorist attacks like this. Look at this woman. I'm just giving you a handful of examples, okay? There are literally thousands of such tweets that you can find. In the interest of keeping this video short to get the point across, I'm only using 1 example each. Palestinians have done more in 5 minutes than Zelensky has done with $75 billion. Humiliation is an understatement. There are literally so many people who were celebrating the October 7th terrorist attack. So on the 7th of October, this woman, Bayan Palestine, was saying Israel 1948 died in 2023, October 7th. And now happy October 7th to everyone. But fast forward 8 or 9 months later, everywhere I go, there is destruction around me. I no longer walk the streets of Gaza City. I now climb them. And hardly I have seen so much rubble in the city to the point where I currently hate the color gray. And of course, we have Mr. Fafo, you know, who was initially celebrating it, and then he saw that there was a cost to effing around, then he started crying. So anyway, he's dead now. He's reached the finding out part to the max. So how come people like Bushra Sheikh, who were celebrating it, are now condemning this terrorist attack? As I said, it's because they have found a person to latch onto, to find some moral high ground that, look, a Muslim man saved the Jews from other Muslim terrorists. She doesn't say that part out loud. Look at this hero who wrestled gun from Bondi shooter named as Ahmed Al-Ahmed. But look at this. Perfect decision by Sydney Muslim leaders to say they will refuse to perform funeral rites or receive the bodies of the Bondi shooters. This is a strong principled stance. Oh, really? In Islam, martyrdom cannot come through murder, and funeral rites signify good standing as a believer. By denying those rights, look, this is the same person who was celebrating October 7th terrorist attack when those people shot innocent Israeli civilians. Most of them were actually lefty Israelis who were in favor of giving more rights to the Gazans. But she celebrated that. But not all of them are as confused as her. Their tune is changing, largely because they know that Westerners are getting sick and tired of their shenanigans, and they know that the writing is on the wall. They have to start condemning them. But she's a lipstick Muslim, so she doesn't know much about Islam. She's actually been criticized for this post as well. But there is an organized Islamist, a real hardcore Islamist, Roshan M. Saleh, the guy of 5 pillars. Look at this. So this woman plays a video, and he's very angry with her. Let me play this video to you.
I am a Muslim, I'm an Arab, and today I stand with the Jewish community in Australia. What happened was not a misunderstanding, it was anti-Semitism, it was terrorism. This kind of hate grows when extremists is allowed space and incitement is ignored. The ideology behind the attack is linked to a Muslim Brotherhood-led movement. The same ideology driven the army committing crimes in Sudan. Different place, but the same thinking. In the UAE, anti-Semitism is a crime. Extremism is stopped early. This is how society stays safe. Standing with the Jewish community is not politics, it's humanity. I stand with the victim. I stand against terrorism.
Very nice, benign message. What's wrong with that? I actually love the UAE now. I'm starting to like the UAE. I would try to reach out to them and give them an olive branch because I do miss Dubai. But Roshan M. Saleh, Britain's most organized Islamist who runs 5 pillars, and he's actually angry that how dare these people show solidarity with the Jewish community. They should be celebrating what our Muslim brother has done. So basically, he cannot say those comments out loud, the kind that I just read out to you. Let me read his comment first. Over the last few days, I have seen similar videos by these UAE robots, all seemingly reading from a similar script. They clearly think we are all stupid. Yes, you are. Anyone with a brain knows that the UAE is the Arab version of Israel. So I tweeted to him, I can understand your anger. Muslims are now starting to drop your pathetic jihad fetish and saying not in our name. And that's what we want. That's what we want from Muslims. We have no problem with your religion. The world doesn't care what Prophet Muhammad did or who he married 1400 years ago or what was the age of Aisha. The only reason people talk about it is because you are getting in the faces of the rest of the world. The problem with ex-Muslims like me, I can speak for myself and many other ex-Muslims probably, the only reason we attack or condemn Islam is because you guys come after us. You want to behead us. You want to kill us for our apostasy. If you leave us alone, we've got no problem with you. You can believe whatever you want. You can worship, kiss whichever stone you want. We have no interest in that. If you forward your hand of friendship, then I'll definitely shake it. And many other people will shake it too. I know that. Nobody cares. But that is not good news for people like Roshan M. Saleh. Look, I don't have any evidence, so I'm not conclusively saying he could be only ideologically an Islamist, or he might actually be working alongside the Muslim Brotherhood, because I have noticed that 5 Pillars, which is the Islamist propaganda news outlet based in Britain, they're always defending the Muslim Brotherhood. Always. Anyways, his response is, you clearly have a screw loose. Please keep away from my feed. Great rebuttal. Ooh, you destroyed me, Roshan M. Saleh. Great rebuttal. Well done. What a great response. So, let me just wrap it up. I do think that we have to change the culture. We have to tell the Muslim community living in Western countries that if you want to live in the West, there are certain things that you and us have to agree on. They are absolutely non-negotiable. You cannot force your Islam down our throats. You cannot be aggressive. You cannot create enclaves. You cannot disrespect local values, religion, and culture. You cannot. If you do this, then you will only fan the flames of cultural nationalism, which, by the way, the UK government has quietly listed as a form of extremism. So if you're proud to be British or Australian, well, not in Australia yet, but it might come to Australia as well. But if you're proud of your British heritage, your values, your history, your culture, then that is cultural nationalism. And that's a form of extremism. And who knows, you could be in prison for it. But anyway, that's not going to work out, because when all of us rise up, I've seen even governments change their tune, like we have seen UK's Labour government changing their tune towards refugees, and they will change their tune towards Muslims as well. So Muslims can see this. Muslims know that they cannot keep up with this BS anymore. But Australia has a test. I forgot to play this video yesterday. This happened on the 7th of October 2023, right after the terrorist attack in Sydney. So you guys have already seen how they were saying gas the Jews, gas the Jews. Let me play that again, just to refresh your memory. Okay, some say they're saying, where's the Jews? That is not even grammatically correct. What do you mean, where's the Jews? But even if that is the case, why? Why? There's no disagreement on that. So not only just that, right after the October 7th terrorist attack, there were fireworks. They were celebrating it. But look at this idiot. He also actually had a FAFO moment. He was crying 3 or 4 months later that, oh, what Israel has done, there's nothing left in Gaza. He's another FAFO. If I find the video, hopefully I'll play it here. But listen to this guy.
I'm smiling and I'm happy.
He's happy. That's how they used to react to terrorist attacks. But now they're all condemning it. And those who don't have the courage to condemn it, now they're like, at least they're keeping shut, because they know that the tide is turning.
It's a day of courage.
Look at it.
It's a day of pride.
Oh, yes. Yay.
It's a day of victory.
Your victory. I don't know if I can find his FAFO moment. There was a video where he was crying. Oh my God, what have they done to Gaza?
Brothers and sisters in Islam,
I saw that one.
the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that the shaheed, he is the only one who wishes to come back to this dunya
Shaheed is a martyr.
after this world ceases to exist. The only reason why he wants to go back to this dunya
So he can be martyred
is so
again.
that he may be killed in the path of Allah, because of the reward that Allah subhanahu
72
wa
bitches.
ta'ala gives the
So basically, so that happened on 8th of October 2025. So they were celebrating the terrorists of the October 7th terrorist attacks. But now they're not celebrating these terrorists who also killed the Jews. What's changed? What has changed, guys? There's a bit of a pressure. And then, as I said, there's an element of like, hey, look, we're not all bad. Look, we have a Muslim hero too. If there was no Muslim hero, I think we probably would have seen conditional condemnations. That, hey, no, look, but I think we should look at the root causes of this. Actually, I forgot. One of the Keir Starmer's biggest donors actually said that what's happening to the Jews all over the world is because of Israel's genocide in Gaza. So he literally blamed the Jews for their own deaths, basically. I can't find the video of that guy. He was actually crying about what happened in Gaza. This also happened October 7th, 2025. They were saying that again, where's the Jews?
Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews? Where's the Jews?
What happened to we hate Zionists, not Jews? What happened to that? So, you know, it's all BS. It's all BS. But anyway, I was not fully right yesterday when I said that Muslims are overwhelmingly condemning it. The Muslim diaspora might be condemning it, and they might be doing it genuinely because, as you saw, the same Busha Sheikh who was okay with Muslims carrying out terrorist attacks against the Jews in Israel, but all of a sudden she's condemning the terrorist in Sydney. Why? Well, because the guy who fought him was also a Muslim. So she had something to feel proud about. When people have a personal cost to pay, for example, they might have to go back if they keep up with their attitude, they might be forcefully deported, even though whether that happens or not. But, the chance of mass deportations are getting louder. So it could be because of that. But either way, as I showed you, Muslims in Muslim countries, that's a totally different beast. And these are the people that our politicians are willing to bring. What do you think is going to happen when they come here? The only reason why more Muslims don't carry out more terrorist attacks is because of the biological instinct called self-preservation. Yeah, they're angry. They hate the Jews. They hate the West. They hate the entire Western establishment. But they also like to live. These two Bondi Beach terrorists, they went on a one-way mission. They had no interest of going back. The younger guy actually gave up. He raised his hand like a pussy at the end because he probably thought, my dad's dead. I don't want to die. May as well take me, arrest me. Their passion for glory of martyrdom evaporates when they see death in real time. This is no time to drop the ball, okay? We have to keep the pressure up on our lefty governments. Do not take mass migration from Muslim countries. And also the ones who are radical, like the one that I played before, the one who was so happy, elated, I'm happy, I'm excited, it's a day of victory and courage. We need to put pressure on our governments to deport them. Start with the radical ones. And the good thing is when we start deporting these radical ones, not a lot of Muslims are going to condemn that because we have a moral high ground. Deport! I'm going to get a mug called Deport, okay? I think that's going to be really good. So when we deport them, then the rest of them would get in line. All these people, I'm telling you, all this bravado, takbir, Allahu, they only have this bravado because we allow it. We have allowed them to express themselves like this. The moment we start holding them accountable, the moment we start changing the culture, I guarantee you these people will be like, no, I'm not a Muslim. I'm just a lipstick Muslim. I don't care about Gaza. Why are you talking to me? No, that's how they're going to be. So yeah, we have to change the culture. Anyway, until next time, ta-ra.